How much maternity leave did you take, Gloria?
Well, I had a long time between drinks, so I have to say my first two children, Karen and Paul, they were born quite close together. So I was a singer in those days. Yes, I could sing in those days. So I was kind of, you know, out working at night time, and I was there with them all during the day.
Oh, look at you!
And this is Michael.
Oh, gorgeous.
How could I bear ever to leave that child? And he literally was only weeks old. So Michael was born in 1970, and by that stage, I had been offered a broadcasting job. So I remember being pregnant during my first sort of 6 months and saying to the producer, "I'm pregnant, will I be able to continue with the job?" And he said, "Listen, love, as soon as you can, as long as you can sit behind that table, we'll cut a hole in it and you can do radio." And so then I knew that my job would be safe, but I kind of was anxious to keep it going. So I was in the lift, and the big boss of BBC in Northern Ireland, he said to me once, because I was like out like this, and he said, "When's the baby due?" And I went, "Tomorrow." And he went, "Right, so you've never seen anybody get out of the lift." And then, I mean, I look back now and I think, why did I do that? I went back after 2 weeks after Michael was born.
Yeah.
2 weeks. But I was anxious. You see, in those days, women had to fight for their careers, and people were just beginning to have a career. Yeah. And so that was that. But then the funniest thing, talking about babies, Esther Ranson came on a programme on Radio 2, the radio, of course, and I'm busy talking to Esther, and the next thing you can hear is this sucking noise. And I'm thinking to myself, I better explain this, you know, like, and I said, I better tell you that Esther actually is breastfeeding her baby.
On the radio?
And she was breastfeeding live as the programme was going on. Wow. But I thought I'd better explain why the sucking noise was happening.
I mean, I worked till a week before mine was due, and obviously I did the weather for so many years, and I did it until I blocked most of Ireland and bits of Cornwall and parts of Wales. And then that's Amy when she was just a few weeks old. It was so funny. We were looking at that picture in the office, and one of the producers went, "Yeah, you do look tired." I think she was probably only about a month old then. I didn't even know what way up I was. I really didn't.
Maddie was only a couple of weeks old, but I was halfway through voicing a programme. No, she used to do that all the time. And I'd had a really awful labour, 2 days, but they said almost 3 days in labour. And they said you've got to come in, but I'm still in a rubber ring. And I was breastfeeding her, and I did my whole voiceover standing up like that, because I couldn't. I would walk in like that, and then I'd look through the glass box, and there was this producer with my baby on her shoulder, just bouncing it like this. And I just saw this woman's back and my baby's head going on. Obviously, this woman had never touched a baby before.
Oh my goodness!
And I was in tears.
You would be.
And getting in the car on the way home in tears. It's my biggest regret, but I had to because I was halfway through the job. So.
When you were standing like that, did you have that rubber ring attached to your bottom?
I would have, Gloria.
Too much information. I must say, I feel really fortunate because I do know that, you know, it's necessity that causes a lot of people to go back to work quite early, and I was really fortunate. I took 2 years off. I was, but
2 years.
Yeah, I was 20. She was my first child, and I'd enjoyed a bit of a career, and so I was able to just take the time off. You know, but I know I was very fortunate, and with my second, I took 6 months off, and again, it was just I'd already found my feet by then. I kind of knew what I was doing. Well,
that's good.
Do we ever? But yeah, and I do feel really fortunate to have had that time and to have been able to take it.
And don't feel guilty about it. If you're lucky enough to be able to do it, absolutely do it. No, good for you.